Okay, so last year, or just over a year ago, I actually purchased this submarine off of eBay, just as a little toy, a little bit of fun to use in the swimming pool. It's been sitting in the wardrobe for the past year, it hasn't been out. So today I'm going to open it up and see what we get in it. But before we do that, let's have a quick look over the box. Okay, so this is a pretty generic, when I was searching at the time, radio controlled submarine. I think it was 15, 20 pounds, I can't remember now, so not overly expensive, just a kind of a mini thing, just really for a bit of a laugh, just a bit of entertainment. Okay, so in the front of the box, made by Sea Wing, and I guess it's a Chinese manufacturer. For the beginner, obviously, quite basic. USB charger, so obviously the battery should already be inside, I'm guessing a lithium ion. It shows the remote control and a propeller rudder system respectively, whatever that means. On the back we have a few more details: diving depth of 0.5 meter, speed of 1 meter a second, range indoors 5 meters, charging time 30 minutes and actual running time 35 minutes, and some diagram saying water goes in. Okay, and on the bottom, got two designs. So we have a yellow one, which I have, and a blue one with a slight camouflage motif. So obviously made in China. Battery warnings. Okay, so let's undo it and see what we get inside. So the first thing I come across is the instructions. So may have a look at them in a minute. Okay, so two parts of the packaging, one holding the remote control and the other holding the submarine. So in the main part we have the submarine and the charging cable, and let's just undo the twists to get the submarine out. Okay, so just held in place with these twist ties. Okay, so initially looking at the submarine, I guess that's the charging point. During transit, I'm presuming this is just a protective foam cover, just so as the contacts aren't damaged. As you can see, this should just fold down. There's a little black bit in there, a bit of plastic, and a void there, which hopefully will just simply close over them. Like that. Okay, so quick look over the sub. We obviously have the motor here, which will draw the water through one way or the other. It looks like there's a spinny propeller at the back. Obviously no rudders, so I get a feeling this might only be an up and down sub, which wasn't what I thought I purchased. I guess that's a draining hole, just in case water gets in. Okay, let's have a quick look at the instructions. Okay, so I've quickly gone through the instructions, and obviously it does give a bit more detail, a little bit more information about it, which does explain a bit more. It is supposed to be full control, so left, right, up, down, forward, backwards. Each bit gives a bit of detail on what parts do, including operation, battery, what to do if it's not working, etc. So I will include a little screenshot of this. Comes in English and I am guessing Chinese on the back. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the remote. So a little easier to get out. Comes with a metal antenna, simply screws into the top. So I will need to put batteries in this. I should be able to do this by unscrewing the two, and this takes 4 AAAs. So as the instructions state, we have a full function remote control, which is forwards, backwards, left, right, surface and dive. Okay, so the next step is to charge it up, and to do this I will simply plug the USB cable into my USB power source. So not an overly long cable, maybe 0.5 meter. Okay, so yeah, about 60 centimeters. Okay, so let's have a quick look at plugging it in and seeing what happens when you put it onto charge. Okay, so for the quick sake of a demonstration, I will utilise a power bank just to see what happens when I plug it in for the first time and how long it will take to charge. So what I should need to do is pop up the watertight closure for the power, and then ensuring that the red power is connected to the bottom two, and hopefully it feels like it's in and secure. Let's turn the power bank on and see if it works. I have a red light on the USB side of the charger, but there are no lights showing on the Submarine. So I'll just have a quick look and see if there's supposed to be any lights showing while charging on the actual Submarine itself. Okay, so one thing I have noticed is when you remove this, it is supposed to turn off the Submarine as well. So when I take it out, that should disconnect the power and switch off the Submarine. There is supposed to be an LED that flashes somewhere, and that is the correct way of inserting it. Okay, so what I will do, just in case there isn't the power to charge it through this, which I can't see why there wouldn't be, although let's try a different port. It feels quite warm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just to quickly try this in a wall socket and see if that makes any difference. So it's plugged into the wall socket at the moment. There's still no blinking flashing light indicating that it is charging. It could be either I've had it too long and the battery has died, or the battery's gone below a certain level and needs a little bit of extra time to, I guess, get back into a charging state, or it just won't work or doesn't work or didn't work in the first place. But either way, I will now leave it for a little bit and check up in an hour and see where we're at with it. Okay, so now we will just undo the remote and hopefully install the batteries and see if this has any effect on it as well, or how easy it is to do also. What you will need to do is find a thinner Phillips or crosshead screwdriver, as normal size ones will not fit in that hole in here. Right, so actually this may well also be water resistant, waterproof as well, as it has a rubber grommet around the outside, so I guess you can probably get it fairly close to water safely without it being destroyed. Okay, it takes 4 AAA batteries, usual sort of configuration. So let's see what happens if I press. It doesn't feel the greatest quality of remotes. Nothing seems to be happening at the moment. All the batteries are charged, so let's just check and see if I've got to have the lid on for it to work. There is a bit of a protrusion there, which looks like it fits into that hole. Maybe it's a sensor. Okay, so that's done back up. There's still no real sign of any life there, but maybe we need the sub on. Okay, well, let's give it a few minutes. We'll give it an hour or so and I'll see how we get on. Okay, so I've just taken it off of charge. There wasn't any flashing LEDs. So let's close the cap and see if anything happens. Okay, so we have a green LED and one at the front as well. That's a positive sign. At least it's showing there is potential it's going to work and there's some power. So let's see if this will now work and do anything. Okay, so now the weak point looks like it's the remote. Need to figure out what's going on here. I have tested the batteries. They do all have power, so it could be that this is broken and there is no obvious on switch. Okay, but I will try some more batteries and see. Okay, so some success. I now have a function button working, and all as I did was literally just spin the batteries. So there was obviously a connection which wasn't connected. Obviously one of the batteries was not connected in some way. Okay, so now I'll put it all back together, put the back on, screw it back up, and look at taking it for a quick test in the swimming pool. Although actually before I do that, let's just try it out and see if it does work. Okay, so power on in the sub, and so I don't know if you can see that. Okay. One thing I can see, this will, as you may see there, pressing up and down moves something in here up and down, which I guess will affect the ballast. Then we've got left and right, which I can't see anything moving, but my guess is there's something inside which will probably throw some water out the side somewhere to turn it left and right. And then forward and backwards. And there, as you can see, the propeller works. Now, let's actually go and try it out.